The small town of Serpentine sits just west of the highway at the foot of the Darling Scarp, about 84 kilometres southwest of Perth. As it's just off the highway, it's often bypassed by many travellers, but if you have the time, it's still worth travelling a few extra kilometres to pay the town a visit. There isn't much more than a post office, a general store, chemist, small medical centre, somewhere to grab a coffee and a bite to eat, and a number of residential properties. But it's a lovely quiet little town, and a look back in time to what most small towns were once like. Settlement started in this area about 1891, when the government declared the Serpentine agricultural area open for selection. The town site was gazetted in 1893, and the name comes from the nearby river, which snakes its way through the area. We're down in Serpentine having a look around and doing a bit of filming, and having a look at the local tavern that we used to come to for lunch. It's completely closed down and pretty well gutted. A very sad sight to see it like this. It used to be very popular. I can't quite work out why a place like this would close down. Really a bad thing for the town, because a business that this would have brought in at one time will no longer come here. It appears that a renovation project has stalled, and from what we can tell, the last work was done on the building around May 2019. The hotel was once one of our favourite country pubs, and it was a great place to have a relaxing lunch. It was one of the original railway stations opened on the Perth to Bunbury line in 1893, and passenger trains still call at the town today. The Serpentine Vintage Tractors and Machinery Museum is located on Wellard Street at the recreation ground and is open on weekends. There's a fine collection of tractors and other farming related items. The Bodhinyana Buddhist monastery was established in the area in the 1980s. The monastery is open to the public and visitors are welcome. Turner's cottage sits by the bridge on the south bank of the Serpentine River. The Turners farmed the property from the mid-1850s, and when Edward Turner died, aged just 41, his wife Elizabeth continued to operate the farm until she died in 1902. It then passed to her son Harry. Harry died in 1945 and passed the property on to his son Claude, who leased it out. The property fell into disrepair and at one stage was threatened with demolition. Reconstruction began in 1978 and was completed by 1980. The buildings then became a local community facility and museum, but once again the property is now disused and falling into disrepair. The future of the cottage looks pretty bleak, and it's a real shame the local council and the state government are not doing more to utilise the property. The old bridge school building that stands near the bridge today was built in 1902. The site had been used for a school since 1858, and two other buildings had preceded the current one. The school remained open until 1954, when it was replaced by a new building in the relocated town site. Serpentine National Park is best known for the waterfall and pool area. The park lies along the banks of the Serpentine River and up the face of the Darling Scarp. The Serpentine River was first discovered by Europeans in 1829, just months after the first settlers arrived. The name Serpentine appears on maps from 1832. In 1894, a flora and fauna reserve was established over an area of 160,000 acres. Demands for land were such that the first reserve was cancelled in 1911, but the area around the falls became a focus for a recreation reserve. Management of the area passed through several bodies, and the Serpentine National Park was declared in 1957. Swimming in the pool by the falls was once a popular activity, but today it's discouraged because of accidents and health concerns about the water quality. There are times when the water quality is so poor that swimming can be banned.